happened, well, then again, had none of this happened, everybody would have said we would have went 12-4 had the boy wonder been out there, because that's what they see. That to me is why Browns fans aren't happy with the 7 wins that they got so far, because they spent that whole time going, yeah, but Johnny could have done twice as good. Johnny would have won twice as many games, because that's what they were having idiots like Chuck Boom shovel down their throat, and having guys throw at them every day was, man, they're winning in spite of Hoyer. Well, they sure as hell couldn't win in spite of Manziel yesterday. They couldn't win in spite of anybody yesterday. Let me be fair about that. But that being said, I'm serious. Here's the thing that the majority of the actual Browns fans, not honks for one guy or the other and all that other stuff, but actual Browns fans, what you said is the biggest comment that I got, is that we got a season twice as good as most fans were expecting, and they thought that it was pretty crappy of the Browns to do the way they handled the quarterback situation at the end when they already got twice the production that they thought they were going to get. A lot of people saw it as having your cake and wanting to eat it too, as the old expression goes. A lot of people that was a big portion of the fan base hit us up with that, and many people were able to sell themselves on that ship has sailed, we got to see the future now or whatnot. But I say, had the Browns allowed this season to play itself out, had the team buckled together, instead of spending the last 2 weeks worrying about the switch and then all of this, you could have easily finished a 500 season, and it just would have had a different feeling coming out of it than it does now. And I think that's part of it, is I think that is a little of wanting your cake and wanting to eat it too. To be totally, totally honest, is that's what the Browns did. Is most people had them at 3 wins, maybe 4 if they got lucky. They got double there and said, oh man. But I think Browns fans would look at this, and they should now. Look back now and tell me, had Johnny started all year, that this team wouldn't be 2-14, because there's no doubt in my mind they would. Any of you that want to point out Troy Aikman, that's true. He had a bad first game too, and they went 3-13. I'm just saying, they would have won 3 games this year with the rookie quarterback. I don't even think 3. Even with the garbage middle part of the Browns schedule. LG, my friend, we got to keep going. I got to keep talking about this.
Let's make one more point before you cut me off here today.
Absolutely.
I know I'm taking up. I just got to say this. We saw Manziel that sat on the bench and watched for 14 weeks of NFL football. He had every opportunity to learn how to go out there and compete on an NFL football field, far greater opportunities than what was handed to Brandon Weeden when they just threw him in the opening day of his rookie season, even though he was 28, going to be 29 years old really quick. This is what you get from a guy that just doesn't have the talent to play football in the NFL. Say what you want, people. This kid is a bust. He's not going to make it in the NFL. J-Rock, when a lineman's being tackled by 2 of your offensive linemen, and he can get one handful of a guy's jersey who's supposed to be Johnny Football, and he can throw him down like a bag of potatoes, you got problems, baby, because one handful of jersey shouldn't be enough to stop a guy that's supposed to possess the talent that this Johnny Manziel was promised to us to have.
Right.
I'm telling you, you got to look through the hype. You got to look through what happened. There's 0.5% of the men that play college football, 0.5%, if the number's that high, make it into the NFL, J-Rock Daddy. So that's the talent pool that this kid's going to be faced with in an NFL career, which will be short-lived, I guarantee you that, brother. It's either going to be due from being cut, due from being traded, or due from an injury. But I'm going to tell you, 0.5% or less of the talent pool that he faced in college is on an NFL playing field, folks. And that's the talent that this fool has to go out and do his little money sign in front of, man. It ain't going to happen, J-Rock Daddy.
Well, I'll end it with this, LG. Thanks for the call, my friend. I'm going to end it with this, guys, and we're going to come back with Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. I'm going to take some more of your calls, get Dan's opinion as well. To me, though, I know you could have ended the season on a better feeling, but I guess if you're looking for a silver lining here, this is the best thing either way that can happen for the Browns, because by the end of it, you're going to know. You're going to have, I think the Browns will have clear delineation that they need to formulate whatever plan they need to do here at the end of this season. So, because that is the one thing, had you not made the switch, you would have had to go into next season with the unknown. Perhaps that unknown gets questioned here. It can only go one of two ways. He can bounce back from here and show that, hey, man, I took my lumps and I came back and learned from it, or it can just continue to get worse from here. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk with Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan about his thoughts. He was there in person for the debut of Johnny Football. I don't know. Can we still use that term today? I don't know, man. But we'll talk about that. Talk about the feeling in the stadium. That place was empty and out. Bruce was sharing with me, Jim Donovan on the radio. So there was no home field advantage. They left. We'll talk about all of that. Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan coming up next as we keep the conversation rolling after the news coming your way next here on the Sports Fix.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into...
The Sports Fix. We'll be right back. It's an addiction. The Sports Fix. We'll be right back.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix. Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your automotive car care needs. They're your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price tire guarantee. Choose from 13 brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. They're open late Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and open early Saturday so you can check it off your to-do list and get on with your day. They also have a newly remodeled service lounge and additional service bay just for Quick Lane oil changes. Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck is located at 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 Bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Signs and Ship, the official printing source of the Sports Fix. Locations in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Florida. Find out more at signsandship.com.
News break.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the NFLPA has filed a lawsuit challenging the Adrian Peterson decision. Arbitrator Harold Henderson upheld the suspension of the Vikings running backs on Friday for violating the personal conduct policy. New Orleans has lost 4 of 5, sits at 5-8 on the season, yet still has a shot at the playoffs. Drew Brees and the Saints tied for the NFC South lead with Atlanta going into the Monday Night Football matchup against the Bears.
There's a tremendous amount. I mean, we couldn't be playing for more. So that in itself is something that is exciting, but something that also we expected. We plan to be playing for a lot this year, regardless of record or anything else.
Drew Brees and the Saints versus the Bears. Coverage kicks off at 8 Eastern on ESPN. With quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick out for the season because of a fractured leg, the Texans will sign one of their former QBs, Case Keenum, off the Rams practice squad. Baseball, Nationals and star outfielder Bryce Harper reached a settlement. They agreed on a 2-year, $7.5 million deal and avoid a grievance hearing tomorrow.
Here's why guys like Brett Favre and Dale Jr. wear Wrangler jeans. Because nothing beats Wrangler comfort. Wrangler 5-star premium denim. They don't cut and bind like jeans with the Veetst. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans. You're listening.
Good time. Anytime you need a payment. Good free. Good time. Not getting hassle
think that about sums it up. It was good times. At one point, it's now turned into a horror movie here, Halloween style. They love to play that on third downs. Lord knows we see a lot of third downs lately. Anyways, welcome back to the Sports Fix. J-Rock back with you here, getting ready to go on the phone lines, having some fun with the music today. Just think back a few weeks ago. It was good times. It was good to even when the offense was struggling. You win one every once in a while. It was okay winning a game or two in spite of that quarterback that we had. Man, I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind winning one more in spite of the quarterback here before we're done. Anyways, welcome back to the Sports Fix. Having some fun. Got to do something to have some fun here today. After that was a horror movie, man. Michael Myers was chasing that boy all over the field yesterday, except he was wearing stripes, and he was on the other team, that's for sure. My man Dan Wismar, not only with us every Monday to talk about these sort of things, and today's a good one, but he was there in the house, so I'm really interested to see his perspective on things, the crowd, all of that stuff. We're going to go to the phones here in a moment. You guys keep the conversation going. Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. Again, Facebook.com/thesportsfix. Tweet with us at thesportsfixCLE. Email us, thesportsfix@AOL.com. And again, well, you know what? I'll go into some of these other things here in a minute. I'm going to go to the phones here and pull Dan up, but I could continue to go in one direction or another with this conversation. I've got all these stats in front of me, but I'm going to put that on hold for a minute. I'm going to go to the phones, and I want to talk to somebody who was sitting right there in the house, and let's start from there as we continue to talk about the Browns and the Bengals and Johnny Jam Boogie's debut and all of that. Welcome to the Sports Fix, you guys. My man, Dan Wismar from the Cleveland Fan. Dan, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, J-Rock. I don't let this stuff get me down. I just think about how many days it is till that equipment truck leaves for Goodyear.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? What are we? 60, late 60s there, high 60s, I think, somewhere around there.
Something
I don't have
like
the number
that, yeah.
in front of me, but
I was sitting around last night. I was reading my Twitter feed. Of course, I got home from the game, and the first thing I did was delete the tape from the DVR without watching it.
You didn't even watch it. Let me tell you, I had to watch it.
No way I'm going to put myself through that again.
The second time was bad.
Yeah, you just got to say enough's enough. Obviously, an ugly thing. I think maybe I saw some people criticizing Pettine for deferring to the second half kickoff, and as it turned out, that did hurt things because the crowd was kind of jazzed, and that touchdown drive and going down 7-zip right at the outset really took some of the starch out of the fans, and really never got back into it. The team never gave them a chance. But I'm not going to fault them for doing that, but because I doubt that the outcome would have been any different. Because as I read somebody say, I can't claim it as an original line, but by the halftime, people were saying that Johnny Manziel was giving a whole new meaning to number 2.
There's a good one right there. Yeah.
But anyway, it's and at some point I'm looking down the sidelines. I swear I saw Brian Hoyer chuckling into his parka.
I'm just saying, I was joking with somebody yesterday.
You just had to imagine. You just had to imagine that he was.
Last week,
inside.
Dan, remember last week when they caught Johnny on the sideline criticizing the Hoyer pass, and they caught him saying, I would have hit him or whatever? And I was joking with some buddies. I said, boy, good thing that camera doesn't care about Brian Hoyer on the sideline, because I'm pretty sure they could have caught him going, well, I at least could have done this, I mean, seriously. Yeah. You couldn't imagine him not sitting on the sidelines and going, listen, man, I know that we were struggling a bit, but at least we were professional, man. Like, I've got to be honest. Tell me your thoughts. Listen, it's easy to say I told you so and all of that or whatever, but the realities is that reality hit yesterday for a lot of people. And I'm not saying this as a blanket end statement. I'm not saying that